hear that?
Made up movies, made up movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Made up movies, made up movies. Yeah, 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 yeah. Made up movies. Movies in your face now. Come and get an earful. Made up movies, made up movies.
Hello and welcome to Made Up Movies. I'm your host, Mike Kohler. With me, as always, is the stuffing to my mashed potatoes. Matt Shore, here he is. Yeah.
Those are both good, to be honest. Those are both
I know,
good.
they're both good. They're both good. Gotta have them. Gotta eat some gravy on them.
I feel like you're more the stuffing and I'm more the mashed potatoes. I feel like just based on my Irishness, but
I'm all up in those guts.
What? Well, this is a special Thanksgiving episode. This is going to be released the day before Thanksgiving, but I have a special non-mashed potato that I received. Well, maybe I should back it up. It was my birthday recently, and I received a belated gift from someone, and I just want to say that I was terrified by the package immediately.
Why is that? What was the package?
Because the package was really nice. It was actually a really nice, like, golden package, which also frightened me because I was like, who would be nice? This seems like a trick, and there seems to be something inside. But it was addressed to, and this is real, it was addressed to Matt Orphan Shore. And I was like, am I going to find one of my parents' heads in this package?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I was immediately terrified, but I'm like, if this is how I go, this is how I go. And I opened it, and inside was a potato, a non-baked potato, just a regular potato that was engraved, somehow branded with a message from Professor Potato.
What?
That seemed like it seemed like it was a threat. Let me see if I can pull this up and I can remember what it said real quick, because I before calling the bomb squad on this potato, I immediately
it's gotta be full. If it's Professor Potato, it's full of bombs.
It says, "I am always watching you. Happy birthday," which is what I read before dropping the potato immediately, and then I recognized love Professor Potato.
The camera went into slow motion
because
he was right behind you.
We were talking, I think, last time about like potatoes used as clocks. And I thought this might be a potato bomb of some sort, but it was just P.S. dogs, and that's when I realized, this is from Kolar. This is a bit referencing our beloved Professor Potato character on the show, whose origin story was in Professor Potato's Wandering Wondernarium, which is one of our Patreon episodes, and I also sang a theme song for him last week's episode, if you'd like to hear that. But yeah, you got this from a potato service?
A potato delivery service, yeah. And I was laughing the whole time I was making it, just giggling to myself.
It's weird. It's weird that they can write directly on the potato.
I know, right? They can put your picture on it too. I almost did that. I almost had your picture put on it.
What is that? Potato ink? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I assume it's some sort of lasers, but I didn't want to spend the extra $10. So. I already spent $30 for a potato. I didn't want to spend.
Oh my god, it's so depressing.
It's worth it. It was worth it.
But yeah, that was my birthday gift from Kolar, was a potato that seemed like a threat and frightened me. So that's basically the core of our friendship.
That's the core of the friendship, and also the show at this point, because Professor Potato has pretty much taken over.
Yes, he has. And if you'd like to, for me to produce a full orchestrated version of his theme song, so you can make it your ringtone, let me know on Twitter before Elon destroys Twitter any further and we have to go somewhere else to get our suggestions. But it's Thanksgiving, so I guess.
Oh yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that thing. Let's go around the table and say what you're thankful for. Let's see what you're thankful for. Let's go around the table.
There's only two of us.
This. My family always makes me do this, and I hate it. So you can go first.
I guess I'm thankful for you and your potato gifts.
Thank you.
I'm thankful for Babs for, I'm just thankful anyone is willing to do the nasty with you to keep you sane. And thankful for my parents and my family and our extended cast of weird characters. I'm thankful for all of our listeners. I'm thankful for those people especially. I'm double thankful for the Patreon people who are willing to pay the $2 because that. But I'm also super thankful for the people who are release day listeners, which really cheers me up when we get like a ton of listens on the first day of release. It really makes me excited. I love being a dirty little stat goblin going onto my stats and
my stats. Tasty,
that could
tasty,
be a new character,
tasty,
the stat goblin who runs in
it's
it.
Not bad. It's not bad. It's not good, but it's not any worse than any other.
Yeah, it's not any worse than Johnny Meatball or whatever his name. His name was Sal. His real name was
changed
Sal.
his name. He changed his name.
What about you? What are you thankful for?
No, nothing.
Oh, come on, Kolar. You got to be thankful for something.
Nah, I'm good. I'm cool. Let's start the show, I guess.
No, I'm not starting the show until you say one thing that you're legitimately thankful for.
All right, I guess I'm thankful for Elon Musk taking over Twitter. Right,
what?
Let's start the show. Let's just
Wait,
start
why
the
does
show.
that make you thankful?
What? No, I didn't know we had to explain why we were thankful for things.
This was your idea. Is this why you hate it? Because you always bail and you're incapable of sincerity?
I didn't know if I didn't know we were being sincere.
Mail.
I thought we were doing a bit. I thought it was going to be a bit, and then now it's sincere, and I don't know what to say.
You can do it as a bit, but you got to think of something funny.
All right,
it's going to be a bit.
Bits don't have to be funny. They can just be...
I know that's the thesis of the show, but I mean, we should think of something.
All right. I'll be sincere. I'm thankful for your mom. Oh.
I can't believe I was more thankful for Babs than you were. That's crazy.
I'm thankful for Babs, but I see her every day. It's like,
oh, are you thankful for Toki? I mean, he's a good
You know
cat.
what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful for Toki's new...
the litter box,
his new litter box, because it looks like a spaceship,
litter box,
and it cleans itself.
Although it does sometimes go off during the show and run for 10 consecutive minutes, and we have
Toki
to
likes Toki likes to listen to my podcast and take a dump at the same time, and then it goes off.
That's a different kind of bingo bongo spinner, right?
It spins his poops into a trap, and then you clean out the trap later. It's just it's great. I'm thankful for that.
It
nothing
creates
else.
the worst kind of trap music imaginable, even worse than the regular kind.
It's just as good.
It's just as shitty. All right, so yeah, why don't we pull out the real non-bingo bongo cat spinner and the real one here. This is how we pick our movies on the show. We roll this bingo spinner and we find a movie like this. So we're picking from a smaller pool.
It does.
Right
it sounds similar to Toki's Litter Box, honestly.
Okay, so this one is called Scurvy with All the Trimmings. This comes from Derek G. It says, when a pirate ship gets lost at sea and won't make it home in time for Thanksgiving, the quick thinking captain has to come up with a plan to save the holiday and himself from mutiny. So I'm not sure what time period precisely this is in.
Pirates have families? I thought that's why they were pirates. Why did they worry about being home for things?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Those aren't really compatible, but maybe this will make more sense once we watch it. So we're going to put on our special goggles, which allow us to watch these movies that may or may not exist in our dimension. So let's put those on, and we're going to watch it now, and flick. Okay. Is yours still acting up due to all that stuff I did to
I got
it?
it tastes like gravy in my mouth. It tastes like I was eating a bowl of
that's
gravy.
good.
It's kind of weird.
Here, spit in my mouth real quick so I can taste it. Oh, yeah. Now that reminds me of the holidays. It's just like having Grandpa around the table.
Grandpa, stop spitting in my mouth.
Loogie spitting Grandpa. Yeah, well, my grandpa was really into S&M, especially at the table. Okay, I should be paying more attention to this movie. Whatever. Okay, so let's take these off. So we just had the movie beamed directly into our brains, so we know everything that just happened in it. So this was a wild one. This was,
It was fun. It was fun. There's a lot of Christmas movies. There's a lot of Halloween movies. There's not many Thanksgiving movies, so it's nice to see.
What are the Thanksgiving movies besides
There
those?
aren't any.
No,
There's
there's Home
Charlie
for the
Brown.
Holidays, right?
for the
One
Holidays.
with what's her face, Holly Hunter, right? That's a good one. Robert Downey
There's
Jr.
There's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Which
that weird
Ben
Muppet
Seaman
one
played the puppet turkey in that. He was an old improv coach of mine. I think he was in one of the Thanksgivings anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a ton of them. I think there's
There's
probably
that weird one with the Muppets, like with Mary Steenburgen, and I forget what those
Step
weird,
Brothers.
Weird...
Those aren't
No,
Muppets.
no, no,
That's
no,
just
no,
John
no.
C. Reilly.
No, it's like
He
it's
just
like
looks
something
really floppy.
Okay. No, it's like
His big lanky body.
all right. He is floppy. He's floppy. But no, I liked it. I liked it. It was sort of heartfelt. Besides all the despite all the
Dismemberment.
swashbuckling, dismemberance and swashbuckling,
It was
a little
better than
heartfelt.
Cutthroat Island. I hate to say this to our dear patron saints of the show. I'm thankful for Matthew Modine and his continued generosity towards us in not suing us for all of our comments on our previous show, Bunker Brothers. He's been a good sport.
Plus, we were selling masks with his face on it. We were doing a lot of stuff
but that was just
very
for that.
illegal.
That was just outside that one orgy we did. But it was like you had to match yourself up with a Gina Davis.
Yeah, that was a good time. That was a good
It was
time.
called Cumthroat Island. So
The
there's
issue
our
was
explicit
everybody
rating.
dressed up like Matthew Modine. There was no Gina Davises there, so it was just
right,
kind of
right. Even the ladies. It's just like when you have a woman as beautiful as Gina Davis, it doesn't matter when there's an even more beautiful man named Matthew Modine. He's just too gorgeous, you know.
He's
like
a
you can't,
handsome
in terms of handsomeness, he is in a league of their own.
boy.
That works.
All right, that works. I check.
But I will say that there are a lot of Thanksgiving TV episodes, and a lot of them are like sort of have to deal with this sort of like sitcom thing. There's a sitcom thing going on where the captain's like, "How am I gonna have the perfect dinner at sea?" You
Right.
know. But
They're running low on food, which doesn't help.
Right. So he has to get really creative, and he keeps the thing that makes it like gets it more towards mutiny territory is that he keeps having them do work but not telling them what it's for because he wants it to be a big surprise. That only makes it raises the tension. So it's like he has to make sure his plan comes together before they run him through with their cutlasses. But I did think that like you know most of these Thanksgiving episodes of shows and stuff, most Thanksgiving themed things are usually like comedy around the table and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I did appreciate that this was a Thanksgiving movie with a lot of adventure and action set pieces that you don't normally get. Like we weren't always on the ship. I mean, there was that big octopus battle, which I thought was great.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
And they definitely at one point, I mean, they're like raiding another ship to try to get their Thanksgiving, it's stuff that they can steal for Thanksgiving.
They steal a lot of other stuff for Thanksgiving, and it's like they're thankful for murdering and plundering other people's Thanksgiving stuff. It's not very. It's kind of a weird thing to be thankful for.
One thing I was always on the fence about whether it worked or not was, okay, so they raid that one ship that's like owned by like British lords and ladies or something.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
Again, it's super unclear why they are celebrating what seems to be American Thanksgiving in a time that seems
what
to
I think
predate
it was
America or something.
Well, I think it was like the second Thanksgiving. Like maybe they were trying to get back for the second Thanksgiving because they just had the first one. Yeah.
None of them seemed particularly like American or pilgrimy. You know what I mean?
I imagine they were
like
probably
legit
pilgrims.
pirates.
They were probably pilgrims who got kicked out for being too lusty.
Yeah, but like
you know,
some of them were like British and Jamaican. They seemed like a motley like Pirates of the
motley
Caribbean
crew.
style crew. They seemed like a motley crew, as Ned Flanders would say. They certainly were a motley crew.
But But it's that thing where it's like, the first Thanksgiving that was Native Americans and
Did that
Pilgrims.
actually happen, or is that completely just a fucking
Nah,
folklore?
it happened. Why would history lie? Everybody lived peacefully together.
Yeah.
And they ate corn and
they
maize.
lived happily ever after until
Yep.
1812 or so, and then
Until 1812-ish.
those dirty
maybe.
French, or they helped us. I don't remember. Oh, there's a fly in here.
History.
There's a fly. I'm gonna catch my own Thanksgiving feast.
You should,
Good
you
idea.
should catch it and feast on it for Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm a writer.
But that was
so
my
for me, this
understanding
is like a
was
turkey.
my understanding was they all had the same, like they're all trying to get back to the same family, which I didn't understand because, like you said, they're a motley crew.
Well,
But
yeah,
it
seemed like they all want to be, or I guess they're based out of. My understanding was that they had some sort of either pirate base or just general village with, or maybe it was a
Pirate
city
town.
with
Yeah.
a pirate district or something. But they all
Yeah.
seem to want to get back to the same port or whatever. Like it wasn't like they have to get dropped off like a school bus of pirates.
The
in their
port
various...
of Port of Valencia. That's what it is. Port of Valencia.
Yeah, Port of
which is-
Valencia, and that's why they're also they constantly try to get Valencia oranges because of there's a ton at the Port of Valencia, but because they are low on citrus, which is causing them to get scurvy.
They go a little mad. They go a little mad because they got a little bit of scurvy. And as you know, it makes people go a little. Also, the cans that they have for the canned food is giving them lead poisoning, which was bad as well.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't understand how they had canned food at any, because it's like, how is their manufacturing at this time period? They've
made canned food since forever. Canned food has been around for a very long time.
I thought it would be like
that
jarred
tracks.
food. Really?
No,
that's crazy.
Canned food has been around forever, but the quality has gotten better over time.
Yeah, I would imagine it's not like
because
pop
they used to use lead to solder the tops, and as you know.
As you know, that's good eating, right? Yeah.
That's not, when lead seeps into your bloodstream, you go a little crazy. It's why boomers are the worst people in the world right now, because of all the lead paint.
So is this one of those things where the steam from the coal makes the beans inside the can heat up the lead?
I've been looking at that chart since we did that episode, and I
is
still
this
can't
a
make
steam
heads or
ship?
tails
I
of
can't
it.
tell. It has sails.
It's got sails. I think it's a sail ship. It's a
But
sail ship.
I'm
is what
sure
they're called.
some steamships had sails, like the ones in Final Fantasy that fly around. Those
Yeah, but those aren't steamships. Those are
airships.
Airships, yeah.
So could a steamship fly if gnomes made it like really good with like crystals and stuff?
I mean, you would have to. I don't think, are gnomes real? No, our gnomes aren't.
I
real.
think in this movie they are, because there is an island of very short people in here, and I couldn't tell if they were hobbits or gnomes or what. And they did seem to have valuable gemstones. So is this? I mean, the octopus was very large that they fought. So is this?
Yeah,
a
that's
fantasy
true. That wasn't
movie?
very realistic. Yeah. That's
Is
true.
this-
Maybe it is a little bit. It's fantastical in its ways, but also they all might not be like. Maybe they're like not reliable narrators because they all have lead poisoning. You know?
yeah. This might be some sort of like marooned at
tripping
sea
their
without
dick off.
wind kind of Moby Dick madness situation.
Yeah, they've got sea madness. They're
Yeah,
going
sea
crazy.
madness, cabin fever.
They all think they live in Valencia.
Yeah, they're pining for the port of Valencia, California, but I'm not sure if that's on the.
They're actually
coast,
just
is it?
trapped. I don't know. It probably is.
But what did you think of the part where there's like this fancy British lordship, sort of like the fancy British guy in Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's not a military vessel. It seems like they're just out for a sail with like a bunch of lords and ladies, and they kidnap that one lady because he discovers that she keeps bragging that she's a fine cook. I think she thinks they're going to like try to have their way with the captain. The captain's going to try to have his way with her or something. And
Sure.
so she's like, "You don't want to do anything untoward towards me. I'm a fine chef. I could work for you in the kitchen." She's like negotiating, and he's actually, he seems like sated by this, and he's like, "Oh, this is great." But also, whenever she's cooking in the kitchen, he's still trying to find like the main course of what's going to be their like surrogate turkey,
Yeah.
for the thing, because they don't have any turkeys. And he keeps envisioning her as a turkey,
As a giant turkey,
in a maid's outfit, with a scullery maid cooked turkey, and he's like licking his lips, looking at her. I wasn't sure about that.
It was cartoonish, but I mean, it made me laugh. But I don't know if it was played for laughs because they played sinister music whenever you saw her as a turkey. Like,
yeah,
it
seemed to be implying that he will eat her if given.
He's going to eat her, and he's going to eat her as she's the main course, essentially, is what's going to happen.
Yeah, unless they find something else. And then
it's
there's that charming pirate who like falls in love with her. He's like the first mate or whatever, and then they start like holding hands, and then he just imagines two turkeys holding hands.
They're so hungry and they're so full of lead that I think it's an issue because it's like.
Well, also the captain, wait, what's his name?
Billingsley.
Captain Billings. Billingsley or Billings? Billingsley. He has the weird first name Frack, which I couldn't tell if that was a nickname. Frack Billingsley? Yeah. And I guess it was like, I don't think that was his real name, but it's definitely what his pals call him.
When you become a pirate, you change your name, I think, most of the time.
Oh, yeah, most of the time. Yeah. But I mean, like, Frack Billingsley is a pretty funny name.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a great pirate name.
Yeah, it sounds almost alien. It was weird. Yeah, he has a pretty good relationship with his first mate, who's also sort of like his consigliere and like the go-between with the other guys on the vessel. And like he's sort of like on his first mate is kind of on mutiny
Cucumber
watch.
Bob, the first mate.
Yeah, Cucumber Bob is kind of on first mate, which made me think of VeggieTales and the pirates who don't do anything, to be honest. But when he's watching the lady Penelope, I guess, who's like their maid, the woman they kidnap and make the chef. The Cucumber Bob, you said his name was Bob?
Yeah.
Bob and
we should be clear, when they kidnap her, they tie up everybody else on the other ship and set the ship on fire. So they killed a whole ship of people, basically.
Well, they did skewer a lot of them during the initial fight because some of them were fencing too. So it's like she's like the sole survivor of her vessel, really.
Yeah.
Unless some people like fell off into the ocean.
But they were tied up and on fire, so I don't know if.
Yeah, there was a guy covered in ropes who runs by the camera just like on fire and screaming Wilhelm scream style. So that was pretty crazy.
They lived. It's pretty crazy, and it's like
they seem to play it pretty fast and loose with the pirate violence. Like, these are our heroes, sort of, even though they do all this stuff.
Well, they made the British kept talking about how dumb Thanksgiving was, and it's like it's not. But
some
dumb.
of the pirates are British too. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
They all have different accents. So it seems like we're just supposed to love the pirates because they're even though they're multicultural. Maybe that represents America or something. Like, yeah. I guess it's a metaphor for pulling together and making a melting pot of pirates.
I think it's a metaphor for fuck the British, dude. Because we won and you lost, losers.
So yeah, I guess. But when the first mate and when Cucumber and Lady Penelope are canoodling in the kitchen, like romantically cooking together, all they have is like this leaded bean stew. And it's like they're getting high off the lead fumes because it all mixes with the beans after a certain point. And so they're cooking together. She's trying to show him how salt works because he's unfamiliar with it. And
tell me about this salt. I don't understand.
Oh, it's like when you lick rocks, isn't it? And she starts laughing at him because he licks rocks. He's like, that's not the only thing I lick.
Yeah, that's fun.
and then she thinks he's saying something like really untoward, but then he starts licking his own arm hair like a cat.
See, I can lick this too. Told you.
It's like, and she's like, what? Why are you doing that? It's like, to show you I know how to bathe myself. I ain't like these other sorts. And I guess he just licks himself clean like a cat.
Like a cat, yeah.
Yeah,
like a
cat. Which I guess is. I mean, it's not like they're swimming in bathwater necessarily. So I guess that is.
And
cleaner.
I don't understand. And I don't know why cucumber, like, he's constantly eating cucumbers, so I don't know why they just don't, like, eat some of his cucumbers, but people are kind of disgusted by the amount of
Oh, I
cucumbers
thought
he
that
eats.
was a joke because he had a big dick, and the
Is that
bit
what it
was
is?
that. Well, because I thought that's one of the reasons that she was interested in him. Okay, so he is eating a lot of cucumbers, right? And everyone's always eyeing him very warily. And I
Yeah.
always thought it's because that one guy who's like sort of like he's like a very portly, and he's like burly though. He looks like a giant big barrel of a man.
Yeah, and his
He's-
name's Tom Cruise. It's just weird.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Crews, like he's a crew member.
Tom Cruise. Oh,
That's what
right.
it said in the. That's what it said in the credits.
Yeah, I guess that was a joke or something. I'm not sure.
It's a joke you have to see written though. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They-
Yeah, they never, and none of them know how to write, so it's not like
Yeah.
you're gonna be seeing that. So I mean, but yeah, he's like constantly staring at, because they're like, they don't explicitly say the word penis, but they do say like, I heard he's got a big dangly knob, but I
Yeah.
guess that's penis in British, right?
It's. I mean, British people have a lot of slang that I don't understand.
He's got to
or, like,
length the rope down in his trousers, and like he's like eating a cucumber, and Tom Cruise is like looking at him. And granted, remember, I know you're probably picturing Tom Cruise
No, but
Cruise
it's
now,
not. It's
but
not.
you got to picture. He looks like Hank from Breaking Bad, but shorter and
fatter.
like wider. He looks like
almost
almost
looks like a bowling ball.
yeah, he looks like Tweedledum and Tweedledee, or
Yeah,
if you just
he's
pushed
that
him
fat.
over, he would just roll away. Which
Shouldn't be
can-
on a ship.
Yeah,
Shouldn't be
yeah,
on a
exactly.
dangerous
I was just
ship.
gonna say it's like a
Yeah.
total liability
Yeah.
for this vessel. I mean, during the octopus fight, this big purple octopus is basically batting him about like a cat with like a
Yeah.
jingly
ball
ball.
of yarn. Yeah.
But
Did you say a jingly ball? Is that the British term for a ball of yarn?
oh, he's got big jingly balls in his length of rope. But
Stupid.
my wibbly wobbly's gone all askew. That is a weird British thing that I never understand, how they like cutify with like anything at all. They're
Like
like,
Cockney, where they say whatever they.
I mean, even not Cockney, even like just Londoners and stuff like that. They're like, or like especially with kids and stuff, they're like, "Did you take your spoonsy and your forksy?" It's
Oh,
like
that's
always.
true. Yeah.
They always have some like cute. I mean, maybe it does come from Cockney rhyming slang.
Eat your mushy peas, yeah.
Your pee-pee mushies, Uncle Pee-pee, Uncle Pee-pee.
Use your pee mushies, yeah.
But yeah, he's Tom Cruise is watching Cucumber eat his cucumbers, and he keeps glancing from the cucumber to Cucumber's crotch, and I feel like he's
got a bulge. He's got a bulge there, and
right, and I think he's trying to figure out if that's a cucumber stowed there or not. Like he's doing a
maybe.
Spinal Tap thing. I thought
Yeah.
that was the bit. Why it makes everyone uncomfortable that he's constantly noshing on cucumbers.
that he
and-
keeps
and-
in his pants. It's
Right.
kinda
Well,
weird.
and also why they have this big supply of cucumbers that no one wants to eat. Like they're all starving because they refuse to eat these cucumbers because they're constantly thinking they sort of like represent
They've been in cucumbers pants. Every single one of them has touched his penis.
yeah, that's what they're worried about.
Yeah.
Or just that they are worried about the implication of a bunch of them noshing on cucumbers and staring at Cucumber Bob
Pirates
as he's
don't want to. They have a fear of being homosexual. I think is what it is.
yeah, except on that show, Our Flag Means Death, where they have a fear of not being homosexual for even a second. They're like, we have a fear of doing anything a pirate might do, but if it's gay, sign every individual character up for this, because that's what the show is about, almost to a distracting degree. But it's like I said, I like that show. I watched all of it. I almost said I mean I kind of liked it. It's like I wanted to like it more than I liked it, because I'm just like, could there be like an episode where they do some pirate stuff? Like I don't mind that it's mostly like a gay romantic comedy. I think that's very sweet, but like I felt like every character turns out to be gay on the show, and I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot.
I didn't finish it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Some people really like it. I think it really speaks to that like the people who
Pirate crowd.
watch TV for like niceness. It's like,
Oh yeah, like Ted Lasso people.
right, but I feel like it's even less funny than Ted Lasso. I feel like it's like, and it sucks because I like everybody involved in this show.
I like my shows to be mean and everybody to be a bully. That's what I like.
I don't mind. I mean, I like Bob's Burgers, and that often veers onto niceness over
Yeah,
comedy.
that's true.
But like, I feel like Bob's Burgers balances it a little bit better than. I mean, I will say I think the romance parts of the show, of Our Flag Means Death, are really good. And I think that the parts with his wife were really funny, but they also do a disservice in that they really make our main character, the guy from Flight of the Conchords, whatever his name is, feel like an asshole. And so it's like it just felt like I guess that's my main takeaway for the show. It felt so concerned with being progressive in all ways that it stopped being any sense of a pirate show. Like, so it's like pirates aren't progressive fundamentally. And like, while the idea of a pirate ship that's really progressive is funny, it's not making fun of that idea. It's like, it's just presenting it like, yep, this is it. And it's like weird. I don't know. It's a strange show, but I guess, I mean, if you really are a gay pirate, then you would find the representation.
How am I going to watch TV if I'm a gay pirate? Where am I going to watch it?
I mean, I feel like on Our Flag Means Death, you would just do it because it's progressive. Watching Our Flag Means Death is progressive.
If I'm an actual pirate, where am I going to get a TV?
That's what I'm saying. On the show, I feel like they would justify it, and they'd be like, "Oh, what's this magic future box? We just have this now because we do." Because, we're more concerned with...
Man, you really hate that show.
I kind of do. It's one of those things where I am frustrated with it because of how much I want to like it and how every episode... It's not really a hate thing. It's just like, this could have been so much better than it is and still be progressive, but it's just one of those things where it sort of reeks of trying too hard to virtue signal in a way that's a little bit obnoxious to me.
Like our show when we try to...
Yeah, exactly. Where you try to literally kill senators so just to make the leftists happy. I have to bleep it out.
You have to bleep a lot more stuff. We're going to have to bleep some more stuff here in a second if you get me started. You don't want
Yeah, I don't mind if it's virtue signaling, if it's really mean and leftist and hard times.
If I was a pirate and Mitch McConnell was a big old turkey, I'd eat him.
I mean, I think I would like the show better if there were jerky, like, Nazi homophobic pirates, and the gay pirates are just like constantly brutally fucking murdering them. Like, that would be a much better. It's like it's still progressive in the same way, but it's also mean spirited and grotesque in a whole new way.
We murdered the shit out of them because we're pirates. That's what we do. We murder people for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why this movie worked for them. That's why I like this movie, because they still murder all the time, but they also want to get home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. This movie is very,
they're
very
complicated.
violent.
They're multi-layered characters.
I will say that this movie was not quite as sweet-natured as Our Flag Means Death, but it did have that romantic scene where they're cooking together, and the captain is there envisioning them both as full cooked turkey, like not alive turkeys, but cooked turkeys.
Yeah.
Headless,
giant, delicious
roasted turkeys. And like sexy sax music plays while the two roasted turkeys are like rubbling and kissing each other with their neck holes. It's really weird.
It's great. It's weird.
It's really weird.
And again, not played for laughs. They play sinister music over all of those scenes.
Yeah, but they also play the sexy music. So it's like the scary captain theme and the sexy music are layered on top of each other in a really disharmonious way. Yeah, it's
not
like,
good sound. Just two people talking over each other.
Yeah, it's like, which fans of this podcast will probably be used to at this point.
Sure. Sometimes you got to get your ideas out fast. See?
Funnier. I'm funnier. It's funnier.
No, I'm funnier. No, I'm a giant turkey. Blah, 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 blah.
I will say that just in case people think I don't like Our Flag Means Death because I'm homophobic, I'm not homophobic. I stand for gay rights and trans rights, and being any of the 50 to 20,000 new genders, I support them all. And
I don't think anybody was thinking that until you said it. Now everybody.
I know. Now I've really digged myself into one of those gay holes, as they.
You're just gonna have to keep apologizing for the next the rest of the show until it's over. I'm gonna get a drink. You just keep keep saying you're sorry for disliking the show.
I apologize to Bulgaria. I apologize to proud Senator Mitch McConnell for what Kolai says.
What other crappy shows are there?
That's the worst part, is that, like, just saying I don't like a show with, like, a lot of gay content.
Oh, Lovecraft Country. That show fucking sucked.
You know what, though? That pilot of Lovecraft Country was great.
Great. Every other episode trash.
Yeah, it's just like, as soon as they introduce the white people in this show, and I mean, like, albino white, like, as soon as they get to the house, like, if the whole show was them if the whole show just carried the racism as monsters. And I liked that one that was like a Japanese flashback that used the Japanese folktale of the Nine Tails, like Fox Lady. I liked that one. But yeah, the show as soon as it got into its like pseudo Twilighty.
Yeah, once it became Twilight, it became bad. But people defend it because I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, because it was progressive and it had great black actors.
But yeah, that first episode, great. Really disappointed that.
I liked the plus size black actress on that who's also on Loki as one of the time cops, who, like, she has that thing where she can, like, transform her body and, like, be in the skin of a white person to see how it's different. And the one with the creepy children, like, it did have good elements. It's just that, like, a whole major, like, existing chunk of the show with, like, the house and those people fundamentally did not work for me. Yeah. So it was like, it was hard to get over that. It was like, just like such a sharp drop in quality. Yeah, but I think what we're both trying to say is that it can be hard to know how to approach criticism of a show with in our modern social media based culture where everything gets flattened to, oh, so you didn't like the progressive show? And it's like, I didn't, but I also didn't. There's plenty of progressive themed stuff that I do like, but in general,
like Andor's a great show.
That's, again, super leftist if you think about it. But again, people are like, I want it to be that too, because it's like, well, if you're just flattening, Star Wars is always about a rebellion stopping an evil empire and stuff like that. So it's not like
if Mitch McConnell was Darth Vader, I'd push him down a shaft. Then I'd call him Daddy.
Yeah, I mean, that seems safer than what you were saying before, so I'm not going to believe it. At least you said if and used a metaphor on that one. So whatever.
Then I'd skull fuck him. Sorry, that's what I was going to say.
See, that seems just sexual enough to be still like, you'd still fell under the if. I'm not going to
get censored anymore. Hey, come on, censor me. I'm going to try to get censored over here.
All right, let's get back to the film. So, I mean, in general, I liked this. I liked the crazy adventures that they went on trying to accrue. Like, he's on the search for any animal that can be this surrogate turkey, right? Yeah. And so they go to different islands and they're searching for, like, the islanders say that there's a legend of a giant wild boar. Like, I guess in the...
Which would make a pretty good main feast.
Exactly.
So to speak.
Exactly. Yeah. And so they do find the wild boar, but it turns out to just be like a very large fat man who wears like a pig skull on his head.
Like, and he wants to read to you. And it's like, he won't stop reading like his poems.
But he also falls in love with Tom Cruise too, and they have a romance.
Of course he does.
Because it turns out that what do you call it? The cucumber thing, the reason he was staring so much is that he was like harboring secret desires. He was actually...
Plus they have the exact same bone structure. They both have
except it's like he's sort of like the junior version of this bigger guy, you know, because they're like, there's like a 3-foot height difference on them. But the captain initially wants to eat the big boar guy too. Yeah. But Tom's like, no, I love him. And he starts hugging and kissing him, and everyone else is like really sad that they don't get to eat this dude. Yeah. What is with all the cannibalism? Are pirates
There's a lot of cannibalism. There's a lot of pirates are cannibals when it comes to when shit
it comes
goes down,
to
they become
Thanksgiving.
cannibals. Yeah.
But
it's also, think about it, they're also eating lead-based stew every single night, and they don't have any citrus.
Limited. Yeah, and the captain keeps trying to sell them on seaweed salad, and he's like, so good when it's dry.
Well, the one doctor on the ship is like, listen, this is lead-based. We're all going crazy. We have to stop eating this.
Yeah, but then
and
they
the captain's
fucking
like,
kill him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You're ruining the vibe of Thanksgiving. And they just skewer him through the heart and chuck him into the water. And then 2 sharks are seen ripping him apart. It's so fucking gory. I don't understand. And like, it's so brutal for no reason. And then Lady Penelope is like, he deserved it. I can't tell if she's just trying to fit in.
She said, doctors are so full of poopy pants.
One told me that I had syphilis. And they all laugh except for the first mate, Cucumber guy, because he's like,
yeah, he's a little worried.
He starts itching himself.
Yeah. I mean, also, syphilis will eventually get into your brain, too. So it's like, it's just
she does. She like laughs hysterically after that.
Like,
oh, don't worry. That was years ago. Back when I was a magical fairy. She begins to dance around, and all the pirates start clapping, playing the fiddle and such.
Bit of an acid trip. This movie, bit of an acid.
Yeah, it's strange, and so that's after they just keep getting more and more starving, and they're trying to trawl up fish from the sea with their nets, and there's like a bit of a Moby Dick moment where they see a dolphin and they're trying to spear hunt the dolphin, and they take this like this little, what do you call it? It's like a dinghy out into the water to spear hunt the dolphin, and it keeps playfully like slapping water at them and squirting water in their
laughing
face.
And laughing. Yeah,
and like. It's just basically acting like Flipper, or maybe it's a Shamu Sea Show Spectacular or something. With them.
And he said, if you catch me, I'll grant you 3 wishes in dolphin.
That was really weird. Wait, was that another acid lead-based fantasy?
I don't know, because they were like, if we gotta catch him, because we'll grant 3 wishes. So I don't know. Everybody seemed to hear it, so I don't know if it was. They all had hallucinated at the same time, or they all hallucinated the same thing.
Yeah, because then when they get to back to the ship, they're like, there was no dolphin. And the captain's like, what? If there was no dolphin, why am I wearing it as a hat? And he's like holding nothing, and he's just like, and so that's at the point where they finally decide to mutiny. They're like, okay, the captain has finally lost his mind. He's been huffing all this lead. He's been eating nothing but seaweed and huffing lead. And so we're gonna put Cucumber in charge. And Cucumber's got he knows he's next in line, and he's beloved by the crew. And
he's got the biggest dick, of course.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Tom Cruise vouches for him, because he's like, there's just something about him I find commanding.
That's true. He's the biggest one amongst us.
And then Lady Penelope is like, I second and third it. And she raises both of her hands and looks at it, and then makes one of her hands like a little goose and goes, kurru, kurru. It's like, okay, I guess.
Everybody accepts it, though. They count 2 of her votes.
Yeah. A lady that wild must be wild in the sack as well. And she's like, yes, the sack, the barrel, I can go and fit in my body into any place. And she starts running around and dancing again. And she at that point they're headed into.
She's got a bit of an Ophelia vibe going on.
Yeah, she really does. But she's not suicidal. If anything, she's got like a lusty zest for life.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's also kind of like Wendy Darling in that she reads the pirates' stories too, and like puts them to bed. But all of the stories are like equally violent and are about people being like.
It calms them down though. They love the stories.
Like they're all sucking their thumbs and listening to these beheading.
And Captain Hook murdered all the Lost Boys, and he skewered their hearts.
Yeah,
and their
maybe
tiny,
that's
tiny
what it was, because
feet.
she does tell the story of Peter Pan again, anachronistically somehow, and like she's talking about Captain Captain Hook a lot, and they see him as a real role model. They're like, yeah, that Captain Hook, he really had it figured out.
He killed kids.
Yeah, and then in her version of the tale, they eat the crocodile, and she's like describing how savory the crocodile meat is, and they're all getting like really excited about it and even hungrier. But when they inevitably mutiny, and because the captain's plans keep going awry, they're heading into a storm, and the captain refuses to relinquish control and keeps like picking the lock of the brig and like letting himself free and trying to wrest control of the wheel, and steers them directly into the storm. At which point they overpower him, but they don't have time to find a different way to tie him down, so they tie him to the mast while they're trying to get the ship under control from this storm. And he's like, he's barking contrary orders at them, like whatever Cucumber says, he's like just shouting over them to do the opposite.
He's a real jerk. It's working.
And they're all confused, and they eventually get into this like typhoon where they're like basically circling a giant ocean drain, and out from the center of it comes this big purple octopus like the one in Final Fantasy 6/3, and it just grabs onto the ship, and they seem to imply, they're like, oh no, it's the sea beast, and they're all like really terrified of this, and it seems to be implied that it's the cause of the storms in this area.
Yeah, it causes the storms. It's sort of like, it's like a kraken sort of thing that I guess.
Yeah,
Poseidon's beast is what they call it. So I assume he has some sort of
it's unclear if Poseidon is real or not in this universe.
No. At some point, he is real enough to them where he has a beast. So I don't know. What is it? What is real and what is reality to them at this point? You know,
there was a funny bit where they're like, "Oh, it's probably just another lead hallucination," and then the tentacle slams down and kills 3 pirates in one swoop. It's like, nope, that's real. That's real.
Oh
no. So it's like clinging to the ship, and it's like attacking the mast and like sucking up like it's like putting pirates into its beak, and that's and Cucumber is trying to he's like at a loss. He's pretty good at like navigation in normal situations, but has no idea what to do. And the captain's
he's not a battle ready captain.
Well, right, and also it's a crazy situation that they're sort of outgunned for. They're like firing their cannons at it, but it also tends to like eat them like gumballs and just
Well,
and
then
like,
then the captain tells him to shoot the leaded stew into his mouth.
Yeah, and it starts hallucinating, and the storm starts to change, and it starts doing like weird air water bending with it, and it like starts dancing.
Yeah,
at which point
it's having a good time.
At which point the captain the captain asks that they or starts shouting basically that they should, ready all their harpoons, and they bundle up a bunch of harpoons and as a load into a cannon to fire it,
which does not work. I mean, I don't know much about cannons, but there's no way that any of this would work. But anyway,
no, in the movie it sort of works.
Yeah.
But like also it again, to the point of like this physically could not. It makes no sense. The Lady Penelope, who's just like full syphilitic crazy at this point, surfs atop the bundled harpoons shot from the cannon, wielding 2 cutlasses, wearing an eye patch and a pirate hat.
It's fucking crazy.
And flies like Solid Snake and the Twin Snakes atop the missile at the octopus, kicks the harpoons into its mouth so it like bursts through the other side, skewering it, and then lands on its head and digs both swords into it and like cuts it down the face, anime style.
And rainbows shot out of it.
Yeah, and again, it's like, and the captain's like, his eyes get really wide and like Jack Black crazy, and he's just like,
yes, murder it more.
It's Christmas after all. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That's not. But yeah, it sort of resolves with, after this battle, they have to stick around and like the storm subsides once they kill the beast. But then they find out that the after they test it on some of the other pirates, they find out that the octopus is edible. And that they can make like calamari from it if they just batter it up. They make some sort of like seaweed tempura thing. I don't know how they do it.
It's almost like I mean, it's the issue. I think is the octopus ate all the lead stew, so it also has lead poisoning. So they're just like they didn't solve the problem. They're just eating more lead.
Yeah, now they're eating lead infused octopus, and so that's like sort of the resolution is like they finally have their big Thanksgiving dinner.
They take it back to Valencia, and I imagine poison the whole town.
But like, were they really on Valencia, or was that a hallucination because they all had superheated octopus poison?
Looked like the Emerald City, so I don't know.
Yeah, and all our families are there, even my dead pets. And a bunch of
everybody they loved was there.
And then, they all sang a song about being together on Thanksgiving.
They all had one grandma and one grandpa that they shared somehow.
Yeah, and then there's like a pair of headless turkeys who start doing like the jitterbug together on the table as they all clap.
It's a good movie.
It's really good. But then but then there's that shot because they cut back to, I guess, the reality for a split second, like a blink and you'll miss it, of them all lying like motionless and seasick and like stomachs full on the deck in the rain as they're like,
right.
Like, something happens. But like I couldn't tell if that was a flashback or they're really saying this is literally a hallucination.
This is all hallucination. Well, I mean the big feast at the end, like the octopus is on the table, like saying, "Eat me, take me, eat more of me. I like it." So it's like
the juicier bits are around my beak. Mm-hmm.
There's no way it's reality at this point.
I guess, but the movie's so weird anyway. And then there's the thing where at the end, the guy who is like the boar who has like somehow like after all of the foreshadowing about cannibalism, he's somehow eaten Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And like he's just he's like sipping wine out of a like head or a skull that's got like Tom Cruise's features somehow. It's like strange. Really weird. They're like, when did that happen? It's like, it was one wild Thanksgiving. And everyone laughs. It was like, well, I thought you guys were in love. And then Penelope skewers cucumber through the guts. And they're like, "Oh shit!" And they start, "Doctor! Oh wait, right." And then they all laugh again.
We killed it. Yeah, that was insane. It wasn't.
Crazy.
It's fun. It's fun. People go mad.
Is the implication that they all died at sea after that, or what?
Well, like you said, that little flash was, I think, reality, but they only did it once in the whole movie. So I'm not sure.
Right, but like they also all are like skewering each other and like get to more violent situations even after the happy.
Maybe they're in Valhalla. Maybe that's like they're at a feast.
Yeah,
of
they're all Vikings too.
And
that's why they celebrate Thanksgiving.
Vikings celebrate Thanksgiving.
I don't. It
when
makes total sense.
I know that like when I had Thanksgiving, when my grandma was still alive, she had dementia, and she would eat off of like the main plates that you served people with. And I was like, I'd
just
be
like
Grandma,
the captain.
You'd be like, Grandma, you can't do that. And she didn't understand because she was already crazy at that point. So I don't know if maybe it's a similar thing where it's like they have no control anymore and they think what they think is right is no, I don't know.
Well, your grandma also wore that lead cooking apron too, which she said would protect her from.
It was
the
a different time, man.
It
was that whole generation survived on lead, and that's why Donald Trump was president, is because of boomers.
No, I think it's just because he's one funny guy.
No, it's because they all slowly got poisoned with, like how we're all slowly getting poisoned with microplastics. They all slowly got poisoned with
lead.
That's
not poisoning. It makes us stronger.
It makes us pure, almost.
The amazing Stretch Armstrong, ladies and gentlemen.
You have cancer. Oh, right. And powers? No.
I mean, Diet Coke is basically heated chemicals and plastic.
Right. Whenever like avoiding sugar has like what other chemicals are we eating besides that aren't just because we're not eating sugar?
Caffeine, baby.
Just caffeine and a list of things that don't exist in nature.
Yeah, like chicken. Yeah, right.
Never heard of it. Get real.
Get real, loser. Anyway, so that was all curvy, no scurvy. I mean, scurvy with all the trimmings.
I think I have lead poisoning now. I think I have lead poisoning from watching that movie.
Well,
also
the helmets. Yeah, I patched in a lot of lead into yours.
Well, it's the best. It is good for soldering. It is. Good
it's great for soldering. I learned that in the bunker. Wait, was that all hallucination? Bunker Brothers? That whole podcast that we did together?
Probably. Might be. I don't know.
Oh, it's Christmas in the bunker, and I've got lead poisoning. Now it's time to sing and have a Thanksgiving.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Wait, what would you rate this out of 10 pumpkin pies?
I would say that this movie is a smorgasbord of Thanksgiving delights. An octopus stuffed with a pig and turkey, and it's like a turducken. It's the turdoctopus. It's a wet ass pussy. Yeah, it's lots of whores in this house. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'd give it 8 out of 10 pumpkin pies.
Yeah, I would say on an out of 10 scale, I would say it is an octopus stuffed with a bagel, stuffed with a beet from Schrute Farms. That's what I would say.
What?
So this coffee. Oh, this is a lead-based cup. I'm just realizing.
You shouldn't drink out of old cans from the 1800s. That's what you're.
I don't know. It just gives me a Thanksgiving-y, old-timey feel.
It's an antique. I like it.
I've also just been doing microdosing some plastics.
You're microdosing microplastics?
I'm microdosing microplastics, so it's really more of a nano
too.
Nano
dose. Everybody. That's what they don't want you to think. The government.
Yeah, what?
Anyway.
I'm sure it's fine. It can't be bad.
I found out what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for this podcast.
Wait, I already said that, so that's not
it's not really sincere then.
Not
sort
good.
of stole yours.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's why I took Babs too, because
somebody had to.
Oh jeez, take my Babs, please.
Just kidding, Babs, I love you.
But yeah, that's it for us. So have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't drink and eat turkey because you'll fall asleep.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it from us. Bye-bye.
Bye.